Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela WebDev. In this video, we will see how the watcher property reacts when we try to pass the reactive object into the watch source type. We already know the first argument. It will take the different source types. It will take the ref value. It will take the reactive value. It will take the getter function, and also it will take the array of the values which have a multiple sources. So now we will see how the reactive object will behave in the watcher source type. For example, let's say that I am creating a simple reactive object. I don't want to complex it. So here we will be having a constant object is equal to its a reactive of I am having a count. By default, I will keeping it as a 0. So this is a watcher. Reactive object. Let's say that here at the top, I am having one div, and in this one it will be showing the count in the input type is equal to text, and here we will be having the v-model and it will follow object.count, right? If you see the output for this one, here the count and the 0 we are able to see. So far fine. Now I want to watch this object.count property. In the reactive we will be having so many values, something like name, Leela webdev. So like this, we'll be having so many things, right? We'll be having different types of object values. But here I want to watch only the count value. So whenever this count value is changing, so I want to catch that new count value and I want to console it for the time being. Okay, you can do some side effects and all those things. A new count value is dollar of new count. That's it, done. Now let's try to see the output here, and empty cache and reload it. So I am closing this one all, and here I will be using 23, and if I am typing here, so nothing is affecting, the watcher is not working. So you should note this point that you cannot watch a property of a reactive object like this. So you cannot watch the reactive object like this. So whenever you want to watch this object.count, so particular property in an object means, then it's better you use the getter method. Okay, instead we need to use a getter. Now if you see the output for this one, let's see the output, and if I refresh here and if I try to write it here, we are able to see new count value. Okay, so we are able to get the new count value like this. And another one what I want to tell you is, okay, you can also call the watch property directly on a reactive object. So you can also directly, instead of using this one, you can also call the watch property directly on the reactive object. That's it. So now whatever the value here changes, so for example, if you're having a large data set of the object means, then it is very difficult for it one to watch it. Now this one also works, not a problem. So if I try to here do it, and when I am trying to change the value, here it is working, see, but this time you are getting the object. Why? Because the new count here, this one is called as a new object, and here if I try to write the new count dot count, okay, new count dot count, and here it should be new count dot count. And if I see the output for this one, and here if I write it, see, here we are able to get the output. So like this you will be having. So here when you are trying to pass an object, so here you will be having this object thing. And in the previous thing we have used for example, if you want to watch a particular property in object means, then you need to use a getter function. So that is also we have seen it. Yeah, so now new count value, it will be working. Now the another thing what I want to tell you is that, so for example, let's say that if you are using the object here, the getter property, if you are trying to use it, object.count. So we are watching a single property in a reactive object, then you will be able to get the new count and also the old count. If you want to get the new count and also the old count, I forgot to tell you this one at the time. So here old count. So both of these will have a different values. So old count means the previous value you will get it, new count means the updated value you will get it. So first one is 0, right? Old is 0. Now if I change it here, see, the new one is 2 and the old one is 0. So if I try to do it here, this time the new is 23 and the old one is 2. So you'll be able to get the previous value and the new value. Whereas if you try to get this object, if you are trying to check this directly, the watch object, so directly the reactive object, if you are trying to watch it, so here you don't expect that you will be getting a new object and also the old object. So here you will be not getting like this. So new object dot count and also new object dot count and also the old object dot count will be the same value. Why? Because both objects resides in the same memory location. So that is the reason. So here if I try to get it, here if I try to write 1, so here you're able to see 1 1, so we are not able to get the previous value, so the value is missing. So that is the thing you need to keep it in mind when you are trying to work on the watcher thing. And also another thing you need to understand that when you are trying to watch a object, so the deeper nested properties which are available in the reactive object, here the object, so the if any property in that changed means everything will be changed. So it fires on the nested property mutations also. And also you need to understand that new value also will be always equal to the old value here, because they both point to the same object, so the same memory location. So that is also you need to understand. So for that reason, what you will try to do, so for that reason, so if you want to target only this count means, then you will be using object.count, so that you will be having a difference between these two. So all the time you will be having this one. So for the performance issue, if you want to have a performance issue and all those things, so you can use like this new count and also the old count. So like this, and here I can replace it with the, so this is the thing which I want to tell you. And before closing this one, let's try to update. Yeah, so I hope you understood about this one. So now fine, so now we have understood these all the things. Okay, so we understood these all the things and we are able to understand this one all. For example, let's say that, okay, I am following this one, all right. So for example, let's say that you can also force the second case into a deep watcher by explicitly using the deep option. So here, for example, let's say that I have a scenario in such a way that count in return, this one is a value is 0, and here you will be having a name Leela, let's assume. So in default, count is an object. So here I am following the count thing, and here this new count and old count is the, again it's a follows the new count dot value and old count dot value. Okay, I am following this object dot count, and here it will be having like this, and here you will be having object dot count dot value. Here it will be, now if I try to change this value, will this watcher will fire? So it will not fire. So if you will try it, I will try to show you. So here, so when I am trying to change the value, it will not fire. So when it will fire is, so you need to understand here. So object dot count, so I am trying to follow this object dot count in return, which is again it's an object. So this watcher will fire only when this entire count object is replaced. For example, let's say that I am having a set interval. So here I will be using the set interval, and here I will be changing this object dot count is equal to value. I am not using this name property, right? So I can use math dot random. Okay, so that I am randomly changing this value. So that means I am randomly changing the entire count object. Now this time it will fire. If you try to see here, see this time it is firing. Oh, I need to use something like 3 seconds. Now if you try to see here, so let's try to refresh it again. So for every 3 seconds it will fire. Here the entire count object I am trying to change it. So here the entire count, the object itself I am replacing it with a new object. So this time this object dot count will fire. But I don't want this type of scenario. So if any of the property in this one is changed means, then also I need to fire this watcher. So if it is like this means, then you can use thing like deep is true. So when you use deep true, this property option, then you will be able to, if any one of the value is changed means, then this watcher will fire. So if you try to see the output, I will try to show you here. Now I am trying to change the value. See this time this one is firing, but you will not able to get the old value. Why? Because it is referring to the same object. So that is one thing you need to understand. So this is the another thing. Okay. So here this is the thing. So you should be very careful when you are using the deep option. Why? Because if it is very expensive, so it will take so much of performance issue when it is used in the large data structures. Only use it when it is necessary and beware of the performance implications. So that is one thing. So another thing what I want to tell you is, for example, let's say that watch by default it is very lazy. If you observe the watch thing, so it will fire, the watch will fire only the callback will be called only the watch source has been changed. So the callback won't be called until the watch source has been changed. But in some cases or something like that, you want the same callback logic to run eagerly. For example, in initially if you want to get fetch some initial data and then refetch the data whenever the relevant state changes means, then we can use the immediate true option. For example, let's say that, so this x and y value, here we are having this x and y value, this watcher thing, right? So it will fire only when x and y has been changed. So if I try to refresh this page, so nothing, no watcher is firing. It will fire only the x or y value is changed. So here it is changing only when the x or y value is changed. But in some my scenarios and something like, so when this x and y values, initial values are there, I need to execute it once, and afterwards whenever the relevant state changes means, then it needs to refetch the data. So for this one, what you can do is you can use an option immediate true. So here for the first time it will execute it. So if you try to see here, I will refresh this page. Yeah, here you'll be able to see values of x and y is 0 and 0. So the first time it will fetch it. So this is called as an eager watcher. So the first time it will fetch it. So this is all about the watching of the different source type. So these are the reactive things. So you need to keep it in mind about the reactive. So when you are working with a reactive source data, so how the watcher will behave, you need to understand the things. That is the reason I have explained you clearly. Hope you understood about this watcher thing. If you have any doubts or any suggestions, please post the comments below to this video. And if you like this video, please do support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you.